Hi, everybody. No audio issues this week. However, this episode is about 70% audio only because we had a blackout to the neighborhood while we were filming that cut out our Wi-Fi, and for some reason that stopped the camera from recording. I don't know. So instead of looking at our beautiful faces for most of this one, if you're one of those people who choose to watch on video, you're gonna have to look at my little drawings of us, and I'm very deeply sorry for that, but I think the drawings are cute, so you'll still have a good time. As always, the Monkees may be a children's show from the 1960s. The Monkees Pod is not a children's show from 2025. We may use mature words and phrases and concepts. Enjoy the episode. Hi, welcome back to the Monkees Pod, a Monkees recap podcast. My name is Sommer.
I'm Lisa.
And I'm Molly.
Today we are going to be covering Season 1, Episode 10, Here Come the Monkees, the pilot. Finally,
the first episode.
10 episodes in, we learn what exactly this thing is all about. We don't learn how the TV monkeys met each other at any point ever. We don't learn the origin story of them.
It truly shows how, not linear the show needs to be. It doesn't need to follow any sequence of overarching plot.
No.
You could honestly change the order of most of the episodes.
Yeah.
And that's why they did.
Yes.
For the introduction to the Monkees, we are just kind of dropped in media res of them living their life as a band with some differences from how they normally live, because the pilot, it has pilot weirdness, but we will get into that. So the historical background that I've chosen for this episode, we went over this a little bit in episode 1, but I would now like to get into kind of the Monkees' dynamics between each other in real life, because we've seen on the show they're all besties, they're parental to each other, they have fun, they play in a band. In real life, it was not so smooth sailing, and I find it pretty interesting. First, we're going to start, though, with Micky's first impressions of everyone from his book, because Micky he got along with everyone more so. The other three were bigger divas. So here's what he says about them. He says, Mike Nesmith, dry, witty sense of humor, intelligent, cool, generous, somewhat insecure, I would argue more than somewhat, and definitely a control freak, one of the funniest men I have ever known. Peter Tork, bohemian, heart of gold, tortured,
Tortured?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Compassionate, sometimes annoying, intellectual, altruistic, and one of the kindest men I have ever known. Davy Jones, stylish, very talented, very short, puckish, unselfish, somewhat vain. He's being real generous with his
somewhat.
Yeah, with these adjectives.
Only somewhat.
Congenial, streetwise, and one of the nicest men I have ever known. It's kind of shady to call Davy nice after calling Peter kind. I don't know. That's what he thought of them.
These were the first impressions?
Yes, and he also said that these were kind of the impressions that he had that stuck with him.
I really like this.
Yeah.
I like how right off the bat I can tell Peter is tortured. He's a tortured soul.
So this is the point where I reveal to everyone who didn't know already that Mike and Peter did not like each other. They had a mad beef. Which is why Torque Smith is my OTP in the Monkees.
The ultimate enemies to lovers.
Yeah.
The doomed yaoi, if you will.
The doomed yaoi that is happening right now. Yaoi is Japanese for shipping boys.
Okay.
As far as I can tell, the beef kind of just stemmed from a personality clash, and they didn't actually have any real issues with each other. And the way people describe it is when you meet a guy who's 2% more autistic than you and you have to destroy him.
You have to out autistic.
Yeah. So Peter, he was kind of annoying. People say that. He was kind of annoying to be around sometimes. One example is they would be doing interviews, and then they would start going to politics, and he would start being oh yeah, here's what I think about the war, and then people would be cut it out, Peter, and he wouldn't get it. He would just keep going. And Mike in general was kind of misanthropic and hard to work with and angry at everyone all the time and picking fights with people. So he I really just think is that he found Peter annoying, and he just like did not get along with him personality wise.
Well, what I noted from Mike, and we see the interview, we see his audition at the end. He just doesn't want to. He doesn't answer any questions.
No, like, you tell him to do something, and he does the opposite of it.
The absolute opposite.
Yeah,
the ultimate diva.
He's just not like participating with you. He's just doing what he wants to do.
Yeah. They in Head. They go into a lot of like themes of like their thoughts about the whole process, and there's a lot of stuff in Head about. Like, there's one line where it's directed at Mike where they're like, oh, be a good sport. That was, like, something they must have heard a lot on set. Right. Like, do this. Just do it. Just come on, guys. Come on. Interestingly, Mike was the only one of the Monkees who did not get into physical fights with the others on set. because Mike was, like, not a very, like, physically violent person. The rest of them were beating on each other. There's a scene in the wonderful, historically accurate film Daydream Believers 2000 where fake Davy and fake Peter have a fight, and both of their wigs are so bad. They have like Velma wigs from Walmart on, and fake Davy goes to fake Peter. You can barely carry a tune. How you got cast as a singer, I'll never know. And Peter hits him, and his wig like flops, and he goes, "So much for peace, love, and understanding." Oh, wow. But that is based on something that really happened. Peter did punch Davy in the face, and then Davy headbutted Peter like in the chin because he's short. Apparently in season 2, there's like Peter like he paints little flowers on his face, but apparently one of them was like covering up the bruise that like Davy gave him from headbutting him. I don't know when Micky fought people. He probably did. Yeah, so it was a little. They had kind of beef with each other. Micky and Davy had mad beef in like the 80s. Davy is so mean to Micky in his book for no reason. He like he calls him like shovel face or something. Like, oh my god. Yeah, and the part of it was when they in like the 80s and 90s, Micky was like, I'm not being the drummer anymore. I never was the drummer. Let me just be the front man like I am. And Davy got annoyed with that because he was the front man. Be the front man. Yeah. Uh-huh. And one time Davy was like not coming on stage fast enough, and they were going into Daydream Believer, and Micky's like, oh, I'll just do it. And he started doing it, and Davy's like, not my song. Get off of that song. Unfortunately, it was not the happiest filming environment, but I think by the end of their lives, they all learned to have like a decent respect for each other. Yeah. Peter always said he always said, I liked and respected the different Monkees in different proportions. I loved Davy the most. Mm-hmm. The different proportions thing. There's also like this interview with Old Man Mike where he's just like, I never liked Peter and he never liked me. But when I heard he died, I did cry. And then he like starts crying again.
There's like practically an exact quote like that. Well, between Brian Wilson and Mike Love. Oh. Almost. Well, there's a interview with Brian Wilson where he's like, I do not like Mike Love at all. Mm-hmm. And then there's like a Mike Love interview where Mike, I think, hates Brian more or is meaner to Brian. But he's like, if I could see him again, I would just tell him that I love him. Girl.
Wasn't Mike Love like just pulling some bullshit at Brian's funeral like last week?
Oh, yes. And at the live show, he has many problems. Mike Love is my number one op.
He dances like this.
He does. He also dances like this. Like he doesn't have many moves.
We'll get into this someday, because when I first started getting into the Monkees, I was like, the Monkee lore cannot be as deep and dark as the Beatle lore, and it's like worse.
It is. They're meaner to each other. Like the Beatles only got like semi-mean to each other towards the end.
Yeah, no, the Beatles had their like breakup pissy diss tracks, but like the Monkees were mad at each other the whole time.
It's so sad.
But I get the sense, and I don't know anything about it, that it cannot even begin to compare to the Beach Boys lore.
The Beach Boys lore is absurd.
Why was Charles Manson there?
What? Well, it was all Dennis's faults at the end of the day. None of the other ones wanted him there. Not really. Dennis, his best friend.
And then they kicked Brian out. Like,
well, because Brian had like health issues. They didn't necessarily kick him out. He had to leave.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Somebody told me that Mike Love kicked him out.
I mean, you could. I don't know. Depending how you interpreted it.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
I think we can get into the episode now.
Okay.
Okay. So the pilot, it has a lot of pilot weirdness. One of those things is that it's not directed by James Frawley or Bob Rafelson. It is directed by Mike Elliott, who I don't really know who that is. And also in general, the tone of this one is pretty like it's more grounded than like the normal series.
They have to ease the audience into the weirdness.
Okay, my first thing was they look so young. Like, how much earlier was the pilot?
I didn't even tell you who the writers were.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. So it was written by Paul Mazursky and Larry Tucker, who I don't know if they wrote any other episodes of the show, but they are both background actors as minor characters in this episode. Paul Mazursky is the TV interviewer.
Okay.
And Larry Tucker is Dr. Turner, who I believe is the guy that he interviews.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're in it. And this one was first aired on November 14th, 1966. So good while after the show had been on air.
That's your Aunt Jeannie's birthday, November, and 66 would put her at...
She would be like 10. 9? Oh my God.
Birthday.
Do you think she watched it on her birthday?
I don't know. Maybe.
Wow. Okay, what were you saying?
My first thing was they look so young. So how much earlier... that they did, and I have a ton of other things that are so different about this, but how much earlier did they film it? Do we know?
Okay, so the thing is, they shot the pilot twice. There are 2 versions of it that exist. There's the 70mm pilot, which is the older one, and then there's the one that made it to air, which is the one we watched. Both of them were shot before the main chunk of episodes because, like, they look different. Really specifically, Micky's hair is not as bad.
Right. They just look younger too.
Yeah. I think it was only like maybe a couple months earlier.
Okay.
Because they had to have time to like shop the pilot around.
Right.
But like it wasn't that much time between like that and main filming commenced. They just happen to look like toddlers. Well, they're also like styled a little different.
That's what I'm thinking. I think they just haven't gotten their groove with how they're supposed to look.
Yeah, I think they're a little maybe more styled or more generally styled, like to be more.
I don't know. Because we'll get into it. They are still like have distinctive personalities in how they're dressed. I think like it might just be their hair. Like Mike's ears are sticking out way out of his bangs, and
they call Mike.
They call him Woolhat.
Woolhat.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
Okay, well, first, though, there's this man in the street interview, which I guess those happened once upon a time. And today, but they're doing it for, like, TikTok now. Yeah. And he's like, in the city, there's so much violence. And he goes to this random man, what would you do if you saw violence in the streets? Would you just be a bystander? And the guy's like, no, I would stand up and I would stop the violence. And then the Monkees come in all beating on Davy. And he's like, help me, innocent bystander. What about you, sir? And then the guy runs away. And he helps an old lady across the street in guilt who then charges him a toll. But that cold open had nothing to do with anything.
No.
Except maybe inspired by the fights that they were having on set. What would you do if you witnessed physical violence happening on your set?
Such as what is happening over here.
Yeah, I was having a hard time figuring out what was going on.
Yeah.
When they finally came in and fight, I don't know.
Well, okay. My thoughts for this is like this is more in the era where they're still trying to like riff off of like Hard Day's Night, and which makes it like a little more like grounded, but maybe they're just trying to be like, this is that American observational humor. It's like it's not like as dry as the British observational humor, but our observational humor is punch-ups, and I don't know. It's I guess it is really a cold open in the sense that it's not really related
to what's going on. But he does show up later.
Yeah,
the reporter.
A title card then comes up that says, "And now our story." Because that cold open was nothing. Yeah. So the Monkees manager, a man who I can only assume was killed after this episode, because he's never seen him again. He comes up to them.
He took off with all their money.
Yeah, that's why they're so successful.
That's why
they lost their manager after day 1.
Yeah. Ever since Mr. Epstein died, we've been having a lot of trouble. He's not as good a manager as Brian Epstein was to the Beatles. He does not help them whatsoever or give them any beautiful suits. The manager immediately comes up to them and addresses Mike as Woolhat.
Yes.
Which is the most unnatural nickname of all time. And it sounds weird. Woolhat. Oh, you know Woolhat? You know Woolhat? And it's only a thing in this episode. He only says it once at the top of the
just
episode.
But it's like one of the first things that's said.
Yeah. But I don't know if they like, I've read a lot of teen magazines from the 1960s, and not anywhere do they like, it's not like they were referring to him that way in publications or anything, but still every single interview he's like, don't call me Woolhat, I hate that name, don't call me that. Like, who's calling him that?
Who's calling it?
It just really got to him.
He hated that anyone called him one time. He hated that he was a cartoon character who had a hat. He's like, you don't see me, I'm real.
I guess that is an unfortunate way to be your first introduction on TV. Hey, Woolhat.
Hey, Woolhat. Oh, that guy has a wool hat. I saw this incredible song called "I Want to Be Your Davy Jones."
I have also seen this song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Listen to. We haven't seen.
Oh yes, I've listened to the song. The lyrics are so tragically funny.
Let's pull up the lyrics.
What year was the song released? I should have observed that.
Yes, here it is. Still no lyrics here. Be the first to add them.
Wait,
2003.
Okay, so
we have not the lyrics, but
the lyrics are in my brain.
Yeah, tell us what you remember the lyrics.
Well, what I remember is I don't remember what he says about Micky, but it's not as important as "or that idiot Peter Tork," or "that guy who no one knows his name." That is Mike.
I think he just goes like, "Don't want to be like Micky."
Yeah, don't want to be like Micky, or that idiot Peter Tork, or that guy who no one knows his name.
Yeah,
rude.
I want to be your Davy Jones.
Yeah. I know his name. I deeply know his name. His name is Robert Michael Nesmith, okay?
Yeah, some people do in fact know his name. So,
Micky's hair is so cute in the pilot. It's like shorter, it's a little wavy. He kind of has like a shorter bang. It looks better than the mushroom he has going. So, they should have kept that, but they didn't. So, the Monkees manager is like, "Hey, I got you guys a job. It's at my friend's daughter's Sweet 16. They're like, "Ew, that's a lame job. We would never play that." And he's like, "It's $150. And they're like, "Oh, so you know they're there." I understand why they got rid of the manager character. It's weird to have an adult telling them what to do.
Right.
You know, like that's antithetical to like the purpose of the show.
It doesn't work as much as it does like in Hard Day's Night because it's not important that they're a band in the majority of the episodes.
Yeah.
So,
but also the Monkees, like the Beatles in Hard Day's Night, the Beatles are the Beatles. They have like a different power dynamic with their management because they're so famous and popular.
The plot in Hard Day's Night revolves around how they really were as a band. In the Monkees, they're not really like they are as a band in real life. They're an unsuccessful sad band that realistically would not have a manager.
Yeah, and if he did, he's not doing it. They got rid of their manager and got themselves an advisor instead.
Mr. Schneider.
They got Mr. Schneider.
Yeah,
maybe they turned him into Mr. Schneider.
Maybe they cursed him to become Mr. Schneider. That makes sense. Yeah. So the Monkees roll up to the country club to audition for this.
Not in their monkey mobile.
Not in their monkey mobile. In their pilot monkey mobile.
It's like a Woody. It's like a Woody station, like a beach station wagon.
Yeah, both the
in pilot, brightly colored.
Yeah. Both the pilot and monkey mobile, and their pilot monkey outfits are yellow like the banana that they love to eat.
Very, very brightly colored. And then even when they go in the monkey pod, which is completely different.
The monkey pod?
Pad. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, you're in the monkey pod.
I'm in the monkey pod. When they go in the monkey pad, everything is like they have patchwork, bright color patchwork stuff all over. And I'm like, the monkey pad ends up being so much darker for a beach house. Like, it's like dark in there.
Yeah.
So I think this is much more colorful, like brightly, like clownishly colored.
Yeah. So their pilot monkey uniforms are like these like green corduroy pants, which I've worn an homage to here, and yellow colored shirts and these brown vests. I don't know. They look like the little. They
do look like bananas.
They look like the little like the organ grinder
monkeys.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
What?
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. I like their real show monkey uniforms better. They're cuter. And more iconic with the 8-button shirts.
Yeah.
To describe the next scene, I have written, "Daddy, you're never gonna let the Monkees play at my birthday party," which I should explain. This is That is not what the girl in the scene says. She does not say the phrase, "Daddy, you're never going to let the Monkees play at my birthday party." But that's the vibe of what she says and the gist of what she says. And I think that is a hilarious sentence. So I say it to myself constantly. The girl, she's like, "Dad, you're never going to let the Monkees play at my birthday party. I don't know why you even called their manager. You hate the kids' music. But I hate the band that you've booked for my birthday party, which is the Swedish Rhythm Kings." Yeah. The Swedish House Mafia.
And they were horrible. Not only was it bad music, I think they were playing it like
wrong.
Playing it wrong. You know me, I don't have any kind of musical ear for music, but I was like, I think they're intentionally
they're playing it. They're
playing badly.
Well, I also hate that, but a lot of it's weird on the show when they have to like present something that's like obviously poor quality. Because so many things that they do.
Many things about the show.
Yeah. I think they weren't, like, I just think they were supposed to be, like, an old-fashioned band or whatever, but they were just terrible.
They happened to actually be bad.
Unlike our cabaret diva.
Yeah, our cabaret Big Mother.
It's questionably kind of good.
Yeah. So then the Monkees get up on stage to audition. Uh-oh. Davy saw a blonde girl.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Yeah, so her eyes sparkle. And then her dad's like, "Monkees, you say? There is something primitive about them." He's not wrong.
Because they're monkeys.
Mike's like, "Davy, give me a G." And he hands him a loose guitar string.
Yeah.
Music
and
jokes.
then he laughs. Davy laughs in the into the camera when he does that. Like he laughed at the joke.
Well, in season 2 they get really bad with leaving the outtakes in the show. But the style was there from the pilot, I guess.
I said at least Davy is singing into a mic.
Yeah,
like they give him his own mic to sing into. Usually,
finally,
he's just
but usually he's like off to the side on Peter's mic. When he sings, when he solos, they give him a mic. Anyway, he's singing "I Want to Be Free" fast version, which we had not heard yet. And they just kind of stand there and sing it, and Davy and the girl are like staring at each other with different expressions of constipation, but both constipated looking. And Davy thinks about himself and the girl, and pushing each other on the swing. While his friends play for them in a tree. She's wearing in this fantasy sequence an all yellow outfit with Big Bird bell bottoms.
Bell bottoms. The French. Wait, did you notice that at one point in time she
had a giant skid mark on her ass?
She must have fallen in the mud.
Yeah,
because she had down one leg and on her butt was all like brown, and she was running, and I'm like, what is on her back?
Did she shit herself?
I mean, it must have been an outtake left in. I can't imagine that this is a subplot.
They didn't have multiple pairs of Big Bird bell bottoms for her to wear.
And where did she fall in this?
I think maybe the ground was muddy in general.
Yeah, because they were playing on the swings. But I put the first music video is Davy's Daydream. Yeah, because this is the first. This is the pilot. This is the first time they're showing a music video, and he just goes into a daydream, and then the guys are there playing.
So maybe the rest of the music videos and the entire rest of the show that make no sense are all in Davy's Daydream.
That would make so much more sense.
This one had a plot. At least he was, thinking about the girl.
Yeah. I just want to impress on everyone what exactly, because I said the phrase Big Bird bell bottoms multiple times. What these things
capris.
Are? Yeah, they're capri pants. They're not bell bottoms.
They're
actually
fitted.
They're neon yellow, and around the like shin area of like the bottom like 5 inches of the pants are like covered in a also yellow feathery boa
frill thing around it.
Yeah,
looks like it gave us Big Bird feather, but also how Big Bird has the lines on his leg.
Stripes on his leg. Yeah. So they're Big Bird bell bottoms. She killed Big Bird and wore his legs.
And that's why she
fell on the ground.
She was sitting in Big Bird's nest.
Yeah. Then the Monkees go to Kittyland, which I'm assuming is do you think that still exists?
No, but it's an amusement park.
Yeah. There are a lot of shots from this are in the intro sequence. There's a shot where Mike picks up Davy to put him on the hammer game thing, and you can see that there's ridiculous height difference because Davy swings his leg up and he looks like half of Mike's height. It's amazing.
They also take a picture. They take a picture and I don't know, I think maybe Peter's holding a bird instead of like the flash thing, and it's the bird that winked in the other one. I'm like, there's a prop. So you see, not only do you see things from the sequence, you see a lot of the props for the first time that stick around.
Peter stands in front of a carnival mirror and looks beautiful. And then they're playing on the carousel. I want to note, I was so happy they didn't give Micky the Ringo treatment. They gave him a little drum kit to play with. Unlike
Micky can have his drums.
He can have his drums, unlike in Beatles music videos when they make Ringo.
You would have to hold an umbrella or something,
or like ride the bike, the exercise bike, or like in Paperback Writer, he's just like sitting on the floor looking cool.
They didn't even give him a prop. Just be there.
See, I don't understand some of those because in like the one for what's the Help is where they have the umbrella, right? They're just in like a white studio soundstage. Why couldn't they have given him a drum?
Maybe they just forgot to bring it.
They forgot that Ringo was in the band. But they would never forget that Micky's in the band because
of course not, because he was secretly their frontman.
Yeah. After their beautiful audition, the dad says, "Yes, they can play the party." And then we get like this really confusing sequence of editing. I'm just going to describe it step by step. Hard cut to Davy imagining him and the girl getting married. Hard cut again to Davy in his performance outfit against a black background saying, "I never want to see you again." Hard cut to the girl in front of her own house saying, "How about tomorrow?" And then it zooms out and Davy's wearing like a different outfit, dropping her off at her house after a successful date and where he agrees to go out with her. What just happened there?
Davy's having a chaotic imagination sequence.
He's playing her hot and cold. He's playing it fast and loose. I never want to see you again.
I was confused.
Yeah.
And I was confused as to what day it was. Like, did he go out with her that night?
Yeah. And why did he say, "I never want to see you again"? To whom did he say that?
I don't know.
They tried to do something and it didn't translate.
And they just left it in there.
Yeah, they just left the mistakes in there. This pilot, by the way, did not test well until they added the screen tapes at the screen tests at the end. Like, it didn't get picked up till they did that because it's not that good.
But the Monkees in their true forms are just so charming.
Yeah. So it cuts back. They're in the pilot pad, which is a completely different house, monkeying around in their ways. Davy's like doing his hair for a date. Mike think he Bob Dylan with his harmonica. And he's also throwing darts at a picture of the Beatles that they have up.
I got that.
He hits Ringo with a dart.
I see lots of the props. I am. I don't know what that even means.
I don't either. I don't know what that's referring to. I think it's funny that they acknowledge the existence of the Beatles.
It is funny. It's funny that Micky specifically hits Ringo.
Oh no, it's Mike.
Oh, it's Mike?
Yeah.
Oh wait, you're right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, Mike was angry and he had beef with the Beatles. Because in this universe, they're not like their friends and their peers like in real life. They were just they weren't their friends in real life yet. But like in the fictional Monkeyverse, the Beatles also exist and are successful. And Bob Dylan, I guess. Yeah,
this is true.
All these. Sometimes in the Monkeyverse, the Monkees exist and are successful. So,
on rare occasions.
Aside from the all the colors, the patchwork, and all the colors I saw on the pad, you can see out the window, and it looks like it should. It looks like California for real. Well, it looks like they're upstairs, and there's poles there that look like would be the porch. That they show from the outside.
It actually corresponds to the exterior shot. Also during the scene, Peter is painting the nails of the giant wooden hand with real nail polish. I say the giant wooden hand. I don't think they have that in the normal pad. I don't
remember.
Yeah. And Micky is doing the taxidermy monkey's hair, and then he picks it up like a baby, which I would also do if I had that. So that's fun. Mike says, "Son, don't talk to no strangers after midnight in extreme Texas mode." Davy also has a hat in the pilot. And then they decided that no, we can only have one hat one.
He had like a cap.
Yeah, his it's something of a like orphan or a Artful Dodger style almost.
Yes. Very Dodger.
Yeah.
Dodger like hat. But no, we already have wool hat.
Yeah, no, we can't have
two hats.
Yeah, two hat monkeys. The girl in this episode, I don't remember when they mentioned her name. I think her name is Vanessa. Yeah. Vanessa, we'll call her name. Vanessa fails her history final because she's spending too much time with Davy.
Yeah, how quickly? When is this party?
Yeah, how early in advance did they book the act for the party that she had time to fall in love with and start dating Davy?
And it's if it's 2 or 3 months, that means she's 15 years old.
Davy, how old are you?
She's dating Davy.
How old are you?
What I've written is not I am.
What?
It's 1 a.m. She comes home and they go, it's 1 a.m.
She comes home from her date with Davy and they say it's 1
a.m. And they're sitting there playing cards. They're not they're not sitting there waiting for them with in their pajamas waiting for. No, they're playing bridge.
And they're like, honey, why would you come back so late? Girl, you are still up.
It's 1 a.m.
That's really crazy.
You're 15 years old.
Yeah, we're gonna get into this when we talk about the chaperone. We're shooting this out of order, but 60s dating practices were so weird and restrictive that I can't imagine that they would be happy with that if that actually happened.
I was like, I wouldn't be happy with you if you came home at 1 a.m. when you were 15
hanging out with Davy Jones hanging out with a 20-year-old who lives in an apartment
when you had the history final.
When I had a history final that I failed. We cut to the beach where Vanessa's friend, who looks identical to her, they got 2 blonde girls with bangs.
They had a surplus of them hidden in the back.
It's
bring out whenever you needed it.
It's like they wanted us to be confused. You think Micky was helping in the casting director's office? He's just pointing at headshots. He's like, yeah, bring her on. They're at the beach. Her identical friend is explaining that she's failing to the Monkees and that they need to help her. And the beachwear in this scene is amazing, incredible, stupendous. So we have Davy naked as usual, little red shorts that he had in the horse episode. Micky also normal bathing suit, shirtless, green bathing suit. Peter has a long sleeve t-shirt and red shorts that are so short as to be speedo-like. And Mike is, of course, wearing a hat and a full denim tuxedo with a flannel underneath and boots on the beach.
All extremely in character.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, Davy's walking on the beach, and there's 2 children in the shot.
Yeah,
as per usual.
Yeah, Davy he starts wandering the beach in his little red shorts to the entire length of "I Want to Be Free" slow version once again. Not the entire length this time; it was a little bit shorter. But he's so sad because his girlfriend is failing, and it's his fault. And Mike's like, oh, what do you want to do? He's like, I want to help her. And then it cuts to Micky and Peter in the doorway. And I just wrote, can we bring back this definition of chill boy house pants? Because Peter, he just has a speedo on, just chilling in the house. But it looks weirder because he has a long sleeve shirt on. It looks like he just forgot pants. Micky says, sure, you want to help her. I want to help Peter too, but I can't. He said something that I listened to 6 times, and it sounded close to Burberry or perjury, but I have no idea what he said. Maybe if I watched this, maybe if I had some sort of official release of this, I could watch it with subtitles, and then I would know. But alas. And then Micky picks up Pete by the scruff of his neck like a kitten, and he makes this face. He's like, and I wrote, thank you. I wrote, Pilot Mike, I would do anything. So then we cut to the first fantasy bit of the whole show, and kind of keeping with how the pilot is less wacky than the rest of the show and more grounded. The fantasy is just that they're in a company board meeting wearing suits.
Mm-hmm. The most boring and average fantasy to happen in the entire movie.
Yeah, it almost doesn't even register. You're just oh yeah,
it could be happening.
Yeah. Mike does a British accent for a second. He imitates Davy, and Mike doesn't do accents a lot. They don't really get him to do stuff like that. So I like it when it shows up. So they're like, Davy, you have to help Vanessa. You have to help her pass her makeup exam. And then Davy says, you guys must be out of your beds. Which is a funny phrase because bird meant girl in British slang of the time. I guess it also meant out of your mind. I guess it also meant that as well. It was a funny thing to say. Her parents don't like Davy. How are they even going to meet? He can't even go to their house. So then they disguise as movers and smuggle her out in a chest of drawers.
Okay, so she leaves the house and she climbs out and she's wearing a sweater and some pants.
Yeah.
and then they do a number of things for her to learn history.
Yeah.
And they're on the beach.
Yeah. They go back to the beach.
And so she's in this red bathing suit. And then she's in her pants and sweater again. Like, I'm like, I didn't see a bag. Where was her change of clothes?
Maybe when you hang out with the Monkees, you get access to the Shadow Realm temporarily. I guess so. And just dress however you want. So in order to help her study, they go to the beach and like play around, and Davy forces the rest of the Monkees to get buried in their necks up to the sand and then sing mnemonic devices at her, which must have taken a while. Do you think she was just like sitting there while they did that?
No, I think she was swimming and they were, because she was toweling off.
Oh, so she wasn't studying and they're not helping her at all.
No.
As you would expect.
Yeah. So then they go to the park and reenact the Alexander Hamilton duel to help her learn.
Yeah.
But her dad shows up and they all run away. But the studying worked because Vanessa's teacher, we like cut to like the beginning of her birthday party, and Vanessa's teacher comes up to her parents and she's like, the Monkees are better at teaching Vanessa than I was. Yeah. Now she knows history. And she's like, you should definitely let the Monkees into the party for all they've done. And her dad is like, you know what? Maybe I was wrong about those Monkees. But the Monkees have shown up to the outside of the party and they got told to leave by security. And then they walk out of frame, and then Mike comes back into frame, points at the guy and goes, "You are evil." That was 100%. That was improv. Like, so Vanessa and her mom start crying because of how bad they want the Monkees. Same. The Monkees hop the fence of the country club and they get caught in like the security guards' flashlights. So the dad starts chasing them around the country club to be like, wait, guys, no,
come back.
I apologize, come back. So then they hide in the country club card room. In
like a game room where people sit and play cards.
Yeah. And they have cowboy poker disguises.
I said it's the chase scene, and I think a lot of the music video stuff comes from it, possibly.
Maybe.
Okay,
yeah. Well,
maybe
I don't know. They don't really tend to like show the pilot like outfits again in the rest of the episodes, so I think I would have noticed. Anyway, Mike's cowboy poker disguise includes what I call an Instagram skit beard, by which I mean it looks like when like girls in 2016 would like play a boy on Instagram
yes.
and just like do a beard with makeup, and it looks so bad. He looks like a woman in drag is what I'm saying. And then he shoots a chandelier down in the middle of the country club and nobody reacts because they're so uppity. They run around some more. Monkey masks are worn. They play ping pong and they shoot the ball in people's mouths. They keep knocking over the same waiter. They run into the main ballroom and Vanessa just goes, "Monkees!" Me too, girl.
Monkees.
Now that Vanessa's dad is accepting of the Monkees, Davy gives him some cheek kisses. But the Swedish Rhythm Kings are still hogging the bandstand. So in order to make them go away, Mike gets on the mic and is like, "Hi guys, so Norway and Sweden have just declared war on each other and all Swedish people need to leave right now." And that works. So they play Let's Dance On, which I think we've had that song on the show before. I think.
We might have.
It's probably Boysen Heart. I don't feel like looking it up because it's just kind of in the background.
At this point, like every song has been repeated.
Yeah.
They must have more, but they keep getting Clarksville.
I think after the pilot, I think that once we're going to get into like the new chunk of episodes that they like shot second. So maybe we'll have more songs once that.
But the reporter does show up when they're all dancing. The reporter shows up, the man on the street, and he's like, "I have to get an interview," and everybody's dancing, and he's like, "I need to get an interview."
Yeah. It's like, that's also Hard Day's Night Nachos, when they're like at the dance and like they keep like having the different interviewers come up to them.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, "No, actually, we're just good friends."
Just good friends.
There's a confusing joke during the scene. They show a shot of a girl in the crowd dancing. She's like pretty, she's dressed nice, she's good at dancing, she's like in her late 20s to early 30s. And the meme captions come up, they say, "A typical teenager? No, a friend of the producer." What's the joke?
Well, if we're saying the reporter, the people who wrote the show, put the reporter were the reporter and the doctor.
Yeah.
So maybe they were just grabbing anybody they could for the show, and they put the producers. Well, they needed people dancing. No.
I'm sure, but that's not a joke. That's just a real fact that happened because the girl is just like she's not a teenager, but she's not like that far off that it's funny.
Old. Well, there were other old people. There weren't any teenagers.
No, there weren't. This girl has no friends. This girl has one friend. She's finally identical to her.
And was she even at the party? I didn't see her.
Yeah.
And she was.
Oh wait, you know what I saw? You know what I saw on IMDb trivia last night? Yeah. So that the identical girl, she is Vanessa, the main girl of this episode's friend, but she's also supposed to be like the Monkees manager's daughter, and they never say that.
Okay.
They never say that.
A scrapped line. Not that they cut a lot from the show.
Okay, but that makes that. Okay, that would make sense. That would be how why he knew about Vanessa.
Yeah.
Why he knew about the gig.
Yeah, because his daughter was friends with her.
Yeah.
That does make more sense. Also, it would have been fun to have like a recurring girl character, but no, misogyny. While they're dancing, Davy gets sparkle eyes for another rando girl in the crowd, and the rest of the Monkees are like, "Oh, not again!" And that was the plot of the pilot. It did not test so hot. It did not test so hot with TV audiences in early 66, late 65, whenever they were screening it.
And so they had to hide it for 10 episodes.
Yeah. And it's also very short, which is why our 1 minute short is about 10 minutes long.
Yeah, it was long.
Yeah. Because the 1 minute short this week is incredible. It is Davy and Mike's screen tests. All of the Monkees have recorded screen tests. One of these days on the pod, we'll pull up Micky and Peter's, because they never put that on the show. I don't know why. Probably because Bob Rafelson calls Peter the F slur in his and they can't. He's like, oh, do girls think that hair makes you look like an F slur? And he's like, no, they like it. They like to run their fingers through my soft, silky hair.
I could beep it out.
Yeah, I don't know, but their screen tests are like much. They're not less entertaining than like Davy and Mike's. I don't know why they were like, okay, these are the. Well, Mike's screen test is really good, and he has a lot of excellent bits, and Davy's the popular one, so we have to have him. So maybe that's why they did.
I love Davy. I mean, of course, I love Davies, but
I just think that they should have included the rest of them, and they never did.
No, I agree. Even like if clearly they had extra time, but you could just put like bits and pieces of each. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. And the other, there's also footage available on the internet of like their audition tapes where they're like reading scenes from the pilot. And like in different combinations, there's a couple other guys in there.
Oh yeah.
They're playing different roles. They switch them out.
The scrapped Monkees.
And that's really funny. Mike really looks like a baby in that footage, and he has like this cardigan on. But yeah, they also did these screen tests. Oh, and in the little intro to the screen tests, because Micky and Peter don't get theirs on the show, they get to intro this time, and they go, "It's in black and white, so your TV's okay, the color's okay, don't worry," which is so funny to me. Did the color go out on TVs? Was that possible?
I suppose, but I mean, we had a black and white TV. We didn't have a color TV.
So you would have to watch it in black and white anyway.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, we did eventually have a color TV, but when I was younger, we had a black and white.
You
TV.
were watching the Monkees in black and white this whole time?
I'm trying to think when we got the color TV. Probably not.
Okay.
But
I'm like, it wouldn't make any sense in black and white.
But also like it was. Well, you'd be surprised that like you just watched black and white TV. Our main TV may have been a color TV, but like if you had a little TV in your room. Mm-hmm. You'd have like a black and white TV.
Right.
Interesting. Okay. So Davy's screen test. Oh, he has the little hat on, and he looks so
little. I love
little.
This little hat on Davy.
He's so artful dodger. I don't know if he was like actively still in the show at the time that they like taped that. I
don't think so. I think he was just a little younger.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But he says in this interview something about, he's like, oh, they've made me have my hair like this. I'm actually a very clean cut kid. And he said a couple times in different quotes where he's like, I had my hair long for Oliver, which like I don't know, is the little 60s bowl cut Justin Bieber hair appropriate for old orphans? Is that what they thought? I don't know.
I think it's just probably make him look a little messy, like he couldn't get a haircut.
Yeah, or
I mean,
younger with bangs. Something. Well, he looks younger if you can see his giant ears, in my opinion. But I'm not.
I feel his face looks like rounder. Like he just does give a more youthful essence. But maybe it's the hat. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not the Oliver casting director. The Oliver on Broadway hairdresser. So Bob Rafelson says to Davy, "How did you get into show business?" He's like, "I did school plays, but I wanted to be a jockey." And he's talking about being a jockey, and he goes, "I practiced rehearsed." Well, listen to me. He's such a theater kid that he says rehearsed instead of practiced. That's like when people say when people go to sports ball games and call the halftime intermission.
Right.
Yeah.
Davy would do that.
He would. And Bob's like, "Oh, you're short. Thank you for informing us. How tall are you? Do girls like that size?" Davy says, "I'm 5'3" in boots."
5'3" in boots.
And then he says, "I like tall girls. It's groovy." And Bob goes, "I didn't ask if you liked them. I asked if they liked you." He's so rude to all of them. It's he's just bullying them. And Davy's like, "Ha ha," like happy, smiling back. And then he goes, "You haven't got any hair on your face." And Davy's like, "Yeah, I had some lady. I went to the hospital, and they
to get his appendix out."
Yeah, and they were like, it's time to shave you." And he was like, "Oh, you don't need to do that." The concept of being shaved at the hospital because they
shave. Well, they would shave where they're going to do surgery.
Oh,
you get shaved.
I thought he meant his face.
No, you get your body.
They were talking about Davy's body hair in this conversation.
Yes, because that's where the hospital. You have to be shaved. They don't cut through hair.
Okay.
If they're doing surgery on your
all right.
stomach or.
Okay, but that makes this creepier because now Bob Rafelson is interrogating him about the fact that he has no body hair.
Well, yes.
It gives youth fetishization. And he's like, "Davy, you look like a clean cut boy, really." And he's like, "I really am. They made me put my hair over my ears. No, they're making me do this." And then Bob says, "What bag are you in, Davy?" And he's like, "What? I don't get that." He's really not even this countercultural. He doesn't know the slang.
Get their modern American slang.
Yeah. And then Bob's like, "Well, do you make a folk sound or a rock sound?" And he says, I make a
terrible sound.
I make a terrible sound."
He's so cute.
Because he didn't play music before.
No, he really he sang.
Yeah.
But that yeah.
Yeah. And then Bob's like, "Do your little dance." And he says, "You must be joking." Which it's so cute to me that his catchphrase in the show comes from something he really said during his audition tape.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
Also, why? I don't know. Did he not expect to dance because it's a TV show? You're a theater kid, Davy. Get up there and dance.
Do your little soft shoe boy. Do it now. So he does do it. And then Bob is like, "You know what, Davy? You should have been a jockey." Why is he such an asshole to them? Also, Davy's dance was good, and he should have been on Broadway, which he was. So shut up, Bob.
There's also a part in Davy's screen test. I don't remember exactly where it was, but if you catch it at the right frame, it looks like he's dabbing. I have a screenshot of it somewhere.
Amazing. Yeah, they're doing these screen tests in it's black and white footage, and they're sitting on the set of another show that was filming at NBC at the time, which was The Farmer's Daughter, apparently. And they're just talking at them, filming them. They don't show it in the show. That they did these shots of they must have been profile shots to get what their face looked like from different angles, because they make them turn around and make faces at the camera. Oh boy. I just wrote Mike, and then I wrote Mike's screen test gives me hives.
It's Mike time.
The first time I watched this, I was screenshotting every 5 seconds because he was so beautiful to me. I was screenshotting I was taking pictures at a concert. Okay, he walks in, giant ears, hat on, beat up jeans hanging off his little chopstick legs, Bob Dylan harmonica necklace. He's wearing a Bob Dylan harmonica holder thing, which, by the way, doesn't have a name. Bob Dylan does not know what that thing is called.
It's just like a harmonica
holder thing. Yeah. But he's got it like around his neck with the harmonica on it. He doesn't touch it. He's just like wearing it as a necklace. He's also holding a guitar when he comes in that he does not play. He's immediately loud, annoying, and trying too hard. Bob's like, sit down, tell us your name. And he immediately, you told him what to do? No, he's not going to do that. He goes to the back and pretends that like a painting is like a mirror and he like checks his hair in it. And then he flops down and he goes, my name is Michael Blessing. And then he puts his feet on the table. So Michael Blessing was his like, I think he recorded one song under Michael Blessing.
Okay.
But any picture of pre-Monkees Mike is Michael Blessing to me. Like, that's just, it's just, and also the concept of Michael Blessing makes me emotional because the fact that he chose, it's such a like a little cute.
He chose Blessing.
Michael Blessing. Well,
He's a blessing.
He is my blessing.
Do you think that, or maybe you know, did he decide to stop going by Michael Blessing, or like were the whoever's in charge of the show be like, just
no?
go by
I think he auditioned for the show as Mike Nesmith and was like, I'm doing this now. He didn't really go by Mike till he got on the show, and he didn't really go by it after because I think he associated like Mike is the name of the TV character, so he just made people call him Michael or Nez for like his whole life. Because he like. I don't answer to that's my TV name. I don't answer to that. Anyway, he's like, my name is Michael Blessing. And Bob's like, oh, how'd you pick that name? Mike's like, why are you asking me that? That's weird. Pick something else. Why are you being so confrontational? He's not participating in this audition at all.
No.
So Bob's like, tell me something about yourself. Tell me the Colonel Mather story, which must be a story he told in an earlier audition. And he goes, no, because that's a very dumb story. However, I will tell you about the time that I was in the Air Force and I tipped over a general's plane. One time I was in the Air Force and I tipped over a general's plane. That's that story. He did no such thing. He was in the Air Force. He did not tip over a general's plane. I don't even know how that would be possible. Yeah. He was honorably discharged from the Air Force because he was having a hard time with like the authority aspect of it, and he was like depressed and he didn't want to be there anymore. So he like called in a favor and got like an honorable discharge. But he like hated his time in the Air Force so much that he like never spoke about it except to tell the joke airplane flipping story. Yeah. And Bob's like, well, Mike, why do you do music? And he goes, I don't know why you call that a light. That's just where it's at. What did you do before music? And he goes, I was a failure. Yeah, but did you work at that? Yeah, I mean, I just didn't do anything. Which is true. He 2 years before the Monkee show started, he got a guitar for Christmas, did not know how to play any songs on it, so made some songs up that he could play on it. And then like started doing a tour of Texas schools with his best friend John London. And like it was like really intense Beatlemania when they were doing that. And he tells this story about he was in like some like high school in Corpus Christi, and like the kids at the school were freaking out because somebody was like, George Harrison is here. And he was like, okay, I'm not George Harrison. I don't sound like George Harrison. I don't even look like George Harrison, except I kind of got this little like these bangs. Like he didn't even have like long hair at the time. He just had like Beatle-ish bowl cut. And like the level of Beatlemania was crazy. They were screaming at him, and he's like, okay, what is happening here? I don't know.
So he just did like, so schools would hire him to go perform.
Yeah. Like school assemblies.
Mostly inexperienced artists. Yeah. And like, what's a good use of the children's time? A knockoff Beatle.
Knockoff Beatle.
With no experience.
This is what the children want.
Self-taught on guitar.
Yeah. It reminds me of the very special time that traumatized me. Now, I didn't even like the Jonas Brothers as a child. I'm very confused now as to why my thing right now is 1960s boy bands, because I didn't like boy bands as a child.
Right.
Oh, me neither.
No, I was never a One Direction girl or anything.
Because the things that were popular weren't boys with Beatle bowl cuts.
No. Well, they were, though, because Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. But the boys in our generation weren't.
No, something about the essence.
They didn't hit the same. But it reminds me of the time that I was at Girl Scout camp. And the counselors told us all that the Jonas Brothers were coming to camp to perform for us in a week. At the end of the week, the Jonas Brothers are coming, they said to us. They said this every day.
I can see this.
And at the end of the week, off of the Jonas Brothers tour truck steps 3 counselors in wigs, and we were all so mad. We were like, you told us the Jonas Brothers were coming. So, the girls that high school were pissed when Mike showed up, and he was like, Hi, I'm Michael Blasthey. Bob goes to him, do you think you're a goof? And he's like, do you? He's like, no, I don't. And he's like, see, that's where it's at. If you think I'm a goof, then I'm a goof. What I think is what I am. And I don't think I'm a goof. I think I'm out of work, and I hope I get this series.
How did anything he did in this interview work? I guess he was naturally charming, despite not going along with anything.
He was doing bits. He was picking up on the fact that Bob wanted to do bits.
I guess so.
Yeah. And they did kind of, like, the whole point of the show is that they're, like, anti-authorities, so I guess maybe they're, like...
He got up and he was wandering around.
Yeah.
Looking in the drawers of the set.
Yeah. He's out of control, and you guys had to know when you hired this kid to be on your show that he would make a big stink about the music contract, punch a hole in the wall, to fight
That's
Peter.
Exactly what I mean.
Like he has been reported as not an easy person to work with, and you can see that in his audition.
In the audition. That's what I mean. How can this work? Like, yes, he's cute and charming, but he's about to be a logistical nightmare.
Yeah. He says, I think I'm out of work and I hope we get the series, which was true because he was like, I don't know if he was still living out of his car, but him, his wife, and his child at one point were living out of his car. Which is interesting because his mom had the whiteout fortune.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, his mom's
Mike's mom.
Mike's mom, Bette Nesmith Graham, invented liquid paper. And my impression of how that worked, because Mike grew up in like abject poverty, and his mom invented it when he was like 13. But I don't think she started getting money for it till like the 80s.
I was going to say it wasn't around till the 80s because most people weren't. I mean, yeah, we were all typing, but it was not,
like she was a secretary, and that's why she did it. But like
but it was not a popular item where everybody was using it until the 80s.
Yeah. Okay, so that's probably when the whiteout money started hitting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he gets up and he starts like playing around in the set and like opening drawers and stuff. And he's like, well, I want to be able to see when I go home to like point at the TV and be like, look, on The Farmer's Daughter, you know what's in that drawer? Look, I'll show you what's in that drawer. And he opens the back drawer and he goes, oh, wow, are you ready for this? In like that voice. It comes out of nowhere. He like picks up a plate and Bob's like, oh yeah, Mike, do the butler bit. And then he immediately, no. Don't tell him to do anything. He won't do it. Bob's like, Mike, can you play another part? Can you like play another guy? And he's like, yeah, what do you want me to be, strong and silent? He's like, yeah. And then he like serves like face. He just like looks up and smiles. And then Bob's like, now be a girl. And then he serves the same face. He just makes the same face. And Bob goes, Mike, they're the same thing. And he goes, well, that's your hang up, man. I mean, I know where it's at. Gender abolitionist.
Mike knows where it's at.
Gender abolitionist Michael Nesmith. When I get into the non-binary Mike theories one of these days, when I open the file of non-binary Mike evidence, then you will all see.
I'm so excited.
I can see why those self-tapes help the pilot get picked up. They're easily the most entertaining part of the episode.
Yeah.
Whenever they're allowed to speak as themselves, it's the best part of it.
I agree. Because like all of their dialogue and plots and anything that happens in the show is extremely unnatural and unrealistic.
Right.
But like it's the Monkees themselves that makes the show charming, like adds charm to the weirdness.
Yeah. Whenever you can see them being their real selves, whenever they use like real 60s slang that you feel like they improv'd, whenever they like are making each other laugh, whenever they're visibly high, you're just like, aw, my Monkees, I love them. Well, that
was the beginning.
And yeah, and now we're in the show, and now we know what the show is about, and now we can start getting into like the good episodes. I think Monkees on the Line is coming up. Monkees on the Line is a peak.
I'm excited.
So yeah,
I'm excited for some quality Monkees content on like these first 10 episodes.
Yeah,
even though they were still good in their own special way.
In their own special way. All right, Monkee
out
is not in. That monkey out.
That monkey out.
That monkey out of the cage.
Monkey has left the building.
We hope you enjoyed that episode of the Monkees Pod. You can follow us on Instagram and the website formerly known as Twitter at monkeespod. Y'all, it's currently 1:25 a.m. I'm so close to being done with these stupid episodes. Not stupid. They're very dear to me. Well, they can be very dear to me and stupid. They can be both. And they are. Bye!